There were 56 signers to the Declaration of Independence. Each of them has a story of patriotism, bravery, and courage. 7 signers were from Virginia, the most famous being Thomas Jefferson. But what about the other rebel from Virginia named Thomas? Here's a hint. As governor of Virginia and commander general of Virginia's militia, he fought alongside George Washington during the siege of Yorktown and fired a cannon on his own house. Who was this patriot named General Thomas Nelson Jr.? Next on Marking History. This is the historic marker for the Nelson House, home of Thomas Nelson Jr. Thomas Nelson Jr. was born the day after Christmas, 1738, in Yorktown, into the aristocratic society of Virginia. In 1761, when Nelson was 23, he was elected to the Virginia House of Burgesses, the legislative body of the colony of Virginia. His support towards political freedom from Great Britain and his protesting of British taxes began while a member of Virginia's colonial legislature. And boy, did things heat up. At a July 18, 1774 meeting, Thomas Nelson Jr. urged York County citizens to become self-sufficient and less dependent on British goods. We must make those who are endeavoring to oppress us feel the effect of their mistaken, arbitrary policy, and not until then can we expect justice from them. In Virginia, the boycott of British goods went into effect on November 1, 1774. 3 days later, a British trading ship called Virginia arrived at Yorktown, carrying 154 pounds of tea. Not a good idea. On the morning of November 7, 1774, the York County Committee, led by Thomas Nelson Jr., boarded the Virginia, hoisted the tea out of its hold, and threw it into the Yorktown River. Even though it was not as large as the Boston Tea Party, the Yorktown Tea Party had the effect of moving more people to the verge of revolution. In mid-1775, Nelson was elected to fill George Washington's seat in the Second Continental Congress, when Washington left to assume command of the Continental Army. And so it was in July of 1776 that Thomas Nelson Jr. added his name to the Declaration of Independence. Thomas Nelson Jr. had inherited a vast family fortune, and he used it liberally many times for the American cause. In the spring of 1780, Nelson signed his name for a loan for $2 million that was needed for the war effort in Virginia. On June 12, 1781, Nelson was elected to succeed Thomas Jefferson as governor of Virginia. He faced the greatest challenge of his public career, the invasion of the British Army in his hometown. In the fall of that year, General Nelson led 3,000 Virginia militiamen as part of George Washington's army besieging Yorktown. When British General Charles Cornwallis set up his headquarters in the Nelson home, our patriot offered 5 guineas to the first American artillerists to hit his home. They refused to fire on the house in respect to General Nelson, so Nelson aimed and fired a cannon at his own home. His house was hit by at least 6 cannonballs and was severely damaged. General Cornwallis surrendered at Yorktown on October 19, 1781, marking the end of major fighting in the American Revolution. The war left Nelson a poor man with a wife and 11 children. His personal loan of over $2 million to help finance Virginia's war costs was never repaid by the state. Living on the edge of poverty, he died of asthma on January 4, 1789, at age 50. He was buried in an unmarked grave at Yorktown's Grace Church so that his creditors could not hold his body as collateral. A true patriot, willing to sacrifice his home, livelihood, and life Thomas Nelson Jr. personified the closing words of the Declaration of Independence, upon which he fixed his signature. And for support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. If history can be taught with stories, it can never be forgotten. Please like our video, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell to stay informed on the latest videos.